So far, I'm liking the way that this griddle is working. Yes, sir.
This is brand new. This is the maiden voyage of this griddle.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. We just got to see this thing in action. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we got here. This is a piece of quarter-inch plate steel that I've messed with a little bit, welded some handles to it, cleaned it off a little bit, got the rust buffed off of there. But what we're going to do is I'm going to wash it and try to get all this rust and stuff off here the best I can. And then we're going to season it. And then, of course, y'all have already seen the cooking part on top of it. But this is just the backstory of this old piece of steel and some junk that got put together and what I'm going to do with it. First thing we're going to do is wet it down. You can see all that old muddy looking rust stuff coming off of there. Try not to wet the camera, girl. So, but anyway, so we're just gonna wet her down real good, and I'm gonna get some regular old soap and some steel wool. Now this is just regular old dish soap. I'm gonna just put us a little bit of that on there, and we got old stainless steel scrubby Scotch-Brite, not Scotch-Brite, but whatever that thing is.
Stainless steel scrubber.
That's a stainless steel scrubber right there. That's right. So we're just going to see if we can get as much as we can scrubbed off of there. All right, we got it kind of scrubbed off a little bit. Now we're going to put us a rinse on here. Rinse that off. All right, guys, we just got us some distilled white vinegar, plain old white vinegar from Walmart. I'm just going to pour some on here. Just going to let that sit for a few minutes. And I'm just going to take and kind of scour this in or scrub it in, however you want to say it. See if that won't bring up any more of that rust out of there. And it's not going to get shiny. It's not going to turn like this. Oh, they'd be nice, but it's just not going to with what I've got here, and that's okay. We're going to get some seasoning on it here just a little bit. But I'm going to do this twice. I'm going to just keep rubbing this. Then I'll rinse it off. And then I'll pour the vinegar on it again, do it all over again. All right, guys, this is our last time. This is the third time. I decided to do this side here 3 times. And it got quite a bit of it off, and I think it's going to be fine. We're going to try it and see. And if we got to back up and do it again, well, we'll back up and do it again. But, all right, I'm going to rinse it off. And then we're going to put it on that grill over there, heat her up, and see if we can get some seasoning on it. All right, guys, we got the grill heating up over here. It's sitting on about 300. And I'm going to take this and set it in here just to dry it off and warm it up. Just like that. What we're going to do is let this heating up real good, and we're going to season it. And I know there's a dozen different ways to season anything, and some ways are better than others. And the best thing I think you can do is trying to find what is the highest smoke point of oil that you can find, and season with that. Now, some people back years ago, all they had was bacon grease, and you can season with that. But the problem with bacon grease is it will run rancid on you on your cast iron or on your steel, whatever you're trying to season with, if you're not using it all the time. If you're using it all the time, then fine. But if you're going to store it for a while, that bacon grease will go rancid. I'm going to use just some vegetable shortening. And this is not the best thing to use either. It will work, but it's not the best thing to use. It's not going to build a real good seasoning to start with, but hey, it's what we got at the house. It's what we're going to use. Use what you want and or what you can afford to use or what you got around to get you started. This is what we're going to use, and don't use a paper towel to wipe this on with. The paper towel is going to come apart in little bitty balls and little bitty pieces, and it's just going to be yuck all over your pan. So what I'm going to do is this thing, and just a little bit of shortening there. And I use this to frying French fries or fish or whatever I'm frying in. I'll fry it in this stuff. You can use a fry oil, which is probably better, but this is what I like to use, or Crisco. So it's trying to get the water off of it. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit more and try to speed this on up. All right, guys, we got it back out of there. It's warm. I'm just going to put a real thin, I just got a little bit on my rag, okay, and just a real thin coat. This is on the bottom, and I'm, not really too concerned with the bottom, but nonetheless, we're going to try to treat it some, get a little bit of seasoning on there. And you don't want it real thick. You just do little bits at a time. Okay, we got it back over here. There we go. That'll get it off. Look at there. That's just going to melt on there real good. All right, we got us a nice little light coat on everything on here and rubbed it down real good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the lid, let it heat for just a little bit, and I'm going to turn the heat all the way off and let it cool off somewhat. So here we go, which that's been up. I'm thinking it's probably somewhere around about 300 degrees, give or take a little bit. But you can watch it come up there. And then, like I said, we're going to shut it off and let it cool off. And then we might just go to cooking on it right then and see what happens.